Welcome to Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results from May 26, 2020. Birthdays on the 25th. El Messias, aka Ricky Banderos, born 1975. Alberto Del Rio, 1977. Roman Reigns, 1985. Bo Dallas, 1990. And on the 26th, WWE SmackDown Superstar Steve Cutler of the Forgotten Son turned 31 years old. Also, NXT Superstar Babatunde Ayagabushi turned 32. Also, would have been the 41st birthday of former WWE Superstar Ashley Massaro, who passed away at the age of 39 on May 16th, 2019. Pro Wrestling Project, created by former WWE Superstar Shad Gaspard, may be produced in the near future. Gaspard, who was declared dead at the age of 39 after going missing during a swimming accident on Sunday, took to Twitter back in September 2018 to reveal the sports drama he had created called Pinfall. Don't judge me by my size. I have a talent for making my dreams a reality. Hugging face emoji. But a dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Hashtag our story. Hashtag wrestling. Hashtag WWE. Chad tweeted as a caption to the screenshots of an evaluation of the script to the pilot episode. WWE Backstage analyst Ryan Satin retweeted the project this week and said he hopes it can somehow get made because of how proud Gaspard was of the work he had done on it. Satin was tagged in the original tweet by Gaspard in 2018. Chad's wife, Celiana, responded to that tweet and said she has every intention of fulfilling Shad's dream. I have every intention of fulfilling his dream of turning his treasured work into reality, and it will be made, Celiana wrote. WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley responded to Celiana's tweet as well and offered to help with Shad's project. If there's ever any way I can help fulfill Shad's dream, please don't hesitate to ask. My heart goes out to you and your child, Foley wrote. As seen in the original 2018 tweet, Shad provided an evaluation he had done for the Pinfall pilot episode. Based off a 62-page script, the pilot episode was set in the present era at a pro wrestling arena. The log line for the pilot reads like this. An ailing wrestling company trying to recover after the death of its owner faces again has-beens, troublesome new stars, and an uncertain new owner trying to live up to her father's image. The evaluation included the following details on sports drama. Listed as strengths and prospects for the project. Strengths. This is an intriguing script that combines elements of sports drama and workplace drama to put a fresh spin on both genders. The script takes a sprawling look at a large organization and attempts to tell a bit of a story for every character who appears on screen. The result is sort of an upstairs-downstairs approach to the story, which seeks to create drama from both the showdowns in the ring and the altercations that go in the back rooms and offices. The show's ensemble cast is united by a desire to prove themselves to a world that's ready to write them off. While Trevor and Solange certainly end the episode on less than agreeable terms, they actually have a lot in common. Both characters can feel the deck being stacked against them and are willing to resort to drastic measures in order to get what they want. Trevor ends the episode on a note of hurt and betrayal, and it seems likely that he'll go to great lengths to exact his revenge on both Solange and Casey. The episode really hits its stride as the wrestling match draws closer and closer to the beginning, and the show within the show creates a natural sense of urgency and tension. Prospects. With a strong ensemble main cast of characters who each have their own interesting arcs, and who are destined to clash with each other over the course of the show. The series has the potential to generate drama and perpetuity, similar to the wrestling acts it depicts, while the internal character stakes are full of inherent combative situations. The overarching themes and goals to the story are fairly well known conceits, such as how wrestling may be staged, but the injuries are real. Characters have a tendency to declare their existing state instead of acting to change it, which slows down the pace and doesn't always square with the visual language that film media ultimately speaks in. It's not clear if future episodes will contain wrestling or it will be strictly behind the scenes, such as the pilot episode. It will be interesting to see if Shad's family and some of his co-workers come together to get the pinfall series off the ground. But I'll keep you updated if more news comes up. A memorial for WWE Superstar Shad Gaspard was set up on the beach overnight near where he went missing on Sunday in Venice Beach, California. Shad's friend and former tag team partner, JTG, tweeted a clip from the memorial, which you could see. Well, I did not get the link. Thought I posted it. No, I did not. I do apologize for that. On a related note, The Rock took to Instagram and shared a photo of he and Gaspard together. He also paid tribute to Gaspard as well. This one hurts, Rock wrote. Great guy. My deepest condolences and love to Shad's wife, son, and family. Shad drowned in the ocean, but not before instructing the lifeguard to save his 10-year-old son first. That's the love of a father. This is a tough one to process. Love and light to Shad's family. And your warrior spirit lives on through your son. Gaspard was declared dead at the age of 39 on Wednesday after his body was focused around 1:30 a.m. local time by two people who were walking the beach. Gaspard went missing on Sunday after he and his 10-year-old son were caught in a strong rip current while swimming. Shad instructed the first responding lifeguard to help his son first, and they did, which saved his son's life. Earlier this week, former superstar Shad passed away at the age of 39. Gaspard was swimming at Venice Beach and got caught in a strong rip current with his 10-year-old son. He saved his son's life by instructing the first responding lifeguard to help him. He was then hit by a large wave that took him under, and that was the last time he was seen. To help support his family, a GoFundMe campaign was created and quickly reached its $100,000 goal. Thanks to over 1,000 donations, among them was $40,000 donation from CDC RIP. The name got fans thinking that John Cena may have been the one to send such a kind gesture. Going back to 2008, Gaspard and his Crime Time tag team partner, JTG, worked with Cena during the feud with JBL. As seen in the video, there's a segment where the group vandalizes JBL's limo with Cena riding CTC or Crime Time C Nation on the vehicle. Gaspard's GoFundMe is currently at $131,146. Some MMA fans love pro wrestling while others hate it for the scripted nature of it. UFC Hall of Famer Chuck Liddell was asked his thoughts on the MMA community's opinion on wrestling when he joined the Wrestling Inc. Daily Podcast. Some like it and some don't. It's not real fights, but the stuff they do is real. It's crazy athletic and hard to do, but it's not fighting. But it's fun with all the storylines, stated Liddell. If you're talking about guys who could cross over, if you can fight them, then we accept you. If you think you run into a problem, then you get guys that come over. CM Punk got a lot of flack, but they put him against guys that they tried to get him a win. They put in another guy who should have never been in the UFC in there with him, and he still got beat. Liddell believed that Punk had the wrong people in his ear, which convinced him that he could be successful in the octagon. I think this trainer did him a disservice. They said, "Oh man, you could be a fighter," and then they throw him to the wolves. If they build him up with some small shows and worked his way up, then maybe he would have been okay. But you can't be a guy who's not ready and throw him in. UFC is the cream of the crop. It's a top show out there, said Liddell. Many think Punk shouldn't have started off in UFC and should have had to work his way up like nearly every other MMA fighter. Liddell was asked if this was a disservice to UFC by allowing Punk to fight. I'm not saying that, but he wasn't trained enough. He hadn't done enough and wasn't good enough to fight at that level, said Liddell. Obviously, for promotion, it was great. Brock Lesnar is one of the few guys who made the tradition pretty easy. But he was a great wrestler to start with, and he's a big man. Lesnar's WWE contract reportedly expires earlier this month or next, and Liddell was asked if we could see yet another return to UFC for Lesnar. I would leave that up to the fighter, and it's up to him what he wants to do. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. But if he wants to, I'm sure people will pay to see it, Liddell said. Before being asked about his relationship with Lesnar, he's a nice guy and is good to fans. The small interactions I've had with him, he's a great guy. Liddell is part of a Cagefighter movie, which will also star Jon Moxley and Christian. Liddell discussed how he got involved in the film. They sent me the script, and I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good for the movies I get, but when I looked at it, I said, "Oh, I'm going to have to call him back because they're shooting a week after I have surgery on my knee. I thought I was going to be able to do any of the fight scenes," revealed Liddell, "but I wanted to talk to whoever who wrote it because I wanted to help them with a few spots so things would run a little smoother. They were technical things that would bother a fighter, as some of the technicalities were wrong. So I wanted to fix that. Then I found out that they planned on having me be the coach, so I didn't have to fight. So we started talking about me doing the movie." Moxley is one of the stars of the film, and Liddell was asked about working with him. Jon Moxley was great. He was very professional and great at what he did. He was an awesome guy to work with, said Liddell. Chuck Liddell stars in Cagefighter, which made its international debut last Sunday by Fight TV. WWE is now saying Sami Zayn is injured. WWE started using the injury to explain Zayn's absence in the storylines this week. Also noted, it was announced last week that Zayn was unable to compete, so he was being stripped of the Intercontinental title. The title was declared vacant, and the tournament began on Friday SmackDown on Fox to crown a new champion. WWE never said why Zayn was unable to compete or gave a storyline reason, but just said that he was unable to defend the title within the specified time, 30 days. It's been reported that Sami chose not to compete during the coronavirus pandemic due to potential health concerns. WWE posted a tournament preview this week and said Zayn out of action due to an injury. The title has been held in absence or held in suspension until the end of the tournament. Very similar to the NXT interim tournament. It began on Friday with Daniel Bryan defeating Drew Gulak and Elias defeating King Corbin in the first round matches. This week's SmackDown will feature the end of the first round with Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus and Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, who is representing Raw in the Blue Brand tournament. The winner of Sheamus versus Hardy will face Daniel Bryan at a later date, while Elias will face the winner of Styles versus Nakamura The finals will feature Bryan or Hardy or Sheamus versus Elias or Styles or Nakamura. I do apologize for my brother interfering with my video. He doesn't have respect for my video. WWE also referring to the title being held in abeyance due to Sami being out of action in the preview for this Friday Styles versus Nakamura match. WWE also mentioned that Nakamura will be looking to bring the title back into the Artist Collective, which is the stable Sami has been with Nakamura and Cesaro. No word yet on when Zayn will be back in action, but likely he will face new champion at a little later date. WWE is referring to the new champion as an interim champion, as the title was declared vacant. Impact star Kimber and Zachary Wentz got married recently. Earlier in the day, Wentz posted a photo on Twitter and wrote, "Just married, Mr. and Mrs. Green, Kimberly at Kimber_Lee." So you can probably go to her Twitter link and find the picture. Kimberly also shared the photo on her Twitter account, tweeted, "Appreciate Mr. Mrs. Green at Zachary_Wentz." Kimberly is a former WWE star. She wrestled in NXT from 2016 to 2018 and competed in Mae Young Classic. Lee recently made her Impact in-ring debut against Havoc. In Impact, Zachary Wentz is part of the Rascals stable along with Desmond Xavier and Trey Miguel. Several wrestlers reacted to the news. AEW stars Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela both tweeted, "Congratulations." Madison Rain wrote, "Congrats, you two." Big Swole tweeted, "Congratulations to you both." And Kimber_Lee 90, "You're a queen. So beautiful and kind." Zach, "You a mess, but we all love you. FR, FR. I wish you all the love and happiness God has to offer." Rascals member Trey Miguel wrote, "Who knew the Rascals cleaned up so well? Biggest congrats to at Zachary_Wentz and at Kimber_Lee 90 on their wedding today. What a beautiful day." NXT UK superstar Toni Storm apparently revealed on Twitter that she and New Japan Pro Wrestling star Juice Robinson are now a couple. The former CJ Parker is now no longer on social media these days, but Storm posted a photo of the two hanging out at this link with a red heart emoji. WWE Superstars Carmella and Corey Graves are launching their own podcast next month called Bear With Us Podcast. Bear, B-A-R-E, as a new Twitter account at Bear With Us Pod on Twitter, and will premiere on Thursday, June 11th. The synopsis for the show reads like this. Join Leah and Matt as they dive headfirst into relationship issues that everyone has, but are often too afraid to talk about. Carmella tweeted on the podcast and wrote, "Big announcement, emoji. At WWE Graves and I have a new podcast launching June 11th. Go follow at Bear With Us Pod to keep up to date with all the details." Eek. So excited. 411 Mania ryder Larry Csonka tragically passed away earlier this week as well. Larry and I were among a small group of wrestling writers from the 90s who were still writing about the business now. Larry leaves behind his wife and 2 daughters. Larry had some serious health issues over the years, and GoFundMe has been created for Larry's wife and daughter to help pay for some of the medical bills and to support his daughter's future education costs. You can support Larry's wife and children by searching for their GoFundMe account. Collar and Elbow has released a t-shirt below for Shad Gaspard, who tragically passed away last weekend after getting caught in a strong riptide while swimming with his son in Venice Beach. 100% of profits go to Shad's surviving wife, Celiana, and son, Aria. You can purchase a t-shirt at this link on Instagram, store.collar and me. collar and elbow brand.com. Okay, and the GoFundMe account can be found in this link for Shad as well. I'll post them all together. Created by friends of the Gaspard family in an effort to help support their family. And you can donate at that link. WWE crew had another long day of tapings at the Performance Center, Orlando, on Memorial Day, according to PW Insider. Original plans called for this week's Raw and next week's Raw to be taped on Monday, but instead they taped this week's Raw, SmackDown 205 Live, and main event episode. WWE scheduled another long day of tapings later, Tuesday. They're set to tape next week's Raw, SmackDown 205 Live, and main event episodes. Wednesday, we'll see the company tape several hours worth of WWE NXT programming, which will bring them to Takeover in Your House event for June the 7th. WWE used several NXT developmental talents on Monday's Raw, as you will hear in the results from the crowd, which was done to add energy to the show, just like AEW has been done since they started, while the coronavirus has been going on, which AEW has been doing the last few months. Talents were also used for the SmackDown 205 Live and main event tapings. It will be used for NXT as well. WWE allowed trainees to take short breaks and allow them to sit in between matches, and chairs were brought out. But they reportedly spent most of the day standing on their feet. This was described as an exhausting process for the developmental talents who were used for the crowd settings. No word yet on how they may have been used, different talents for different shows. But it was noted that trainees were happy to be there since many of them been removed from doing anything related to WWE work over the past several weeks. Monday was the first time some of the talents had been inside the WWE Performance Center in a while. Some of the male trainees were used for the show, closing brawl between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Spoiler before Raw. Not only did WWE use trainees as members of the light crowd at Monday's tapings, they also brought out plexiglass that was attached to the top of the taller ringside barrier. PW Insider reported that there were talks of these new barriers being used as the norm going forward for WWE live events as well, when they're allowed to resume standard touring with fans in arenas again. The idea is that this is a way to keep an invisible barrier between the audience and the talents as they make their way to the ring and while they are performing. NXT Superstar Jasmine Duke was one of the talents used in the crowd for Monday's tapings. She took to Twitter and commented on the long day. "I think I lost my voice. Hashtag WWE Raw." Duke wrote in a tweet. Former WWE Superstar Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona, filed trademark to Major Player, name used on Thursday, May 21st. Ryder included the following use description with the USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office. It includes bandanas, hats, pants, shirts, sweatshirts, hooded sweatshirts, first use. 2020-05-20. First use in commerce. Same thing. Entertainment is the nature of wrestling contests. Entertainment services, namely live appearances and professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Personality entertainment services, namely personal appearances by a professional wrestler and sports entertainment personality. Entertainment services, namely wrestling exhibits and performances by pro wrestler and entertainer. Entertainment services, namely providing podcasts in the field of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Entertainment services, namely providing video podcasts in the field of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. Providing wrestling news and information by a global computer network, providing online interviews featuring professional wrestlers and sports entertainers in the field of professional wrestling and sports entertainment for entertainment purposes. Ryder also has filed the trademark to Internet Champion and $1,000 Broski since his WWE departure. He filed to trademark Let Him Breathe back in January of this year, noting that the phrase was first used for commerce in late 2018. Ryder was granted that trademark on Tuesday, May 19th. He also filed trademark to STOMP in Paradise and scratch that figure itch back in January, which were related to his various wrestling action figure projects. Roddy was released from his WWE contract on April 15th, tax day, as a part of the company-wide cut brought by the coronavirus pandemic. Of course not. It's also after WrestleMania. He will be free to sign with who he wants after his no-compete expires on July 15th. WWE officials are reportedly working on plans to resume regular live event touring. As reported, June 1st was opening businesses around the United States. It remains to be seen when WWE will be allowed to move forward with regular touring, but at WrestleVotes reports that internally the company is slowly rebuilding the live event schedule, as they are already scheduled in India and some other areas. It was noted that still nothing is expected to happen with fans attending events before July at least, but things are apparently happening behind the scenes so that the company will be ready when they are given permission to resume touring amid coronavirus pandemic. There have been discussions about ticket sales for arena events moving forward, social distancing guidelines remaining in place. It will be interesting to see how COVID-19 outbreak changes WWE live event model when touring resumes. Also noted, there was talk of keeping the new plexiglass shields and taller ringside barriers used at this week's Raw, and that being the new norm for WWE live events. WWE will obviously be faced with several tricky obstacles and factors to deal with due to the pandemic as well. NXT superstar Matt Riddle is reportedly headed to WWE SmackDown brand. As noted, it was revealed on Monday that Riddle's main roster call-up is imminent. PW Insider now reports that multiple sources has confirmed that Riddle is scheduled for a call-up to the Blue brand. There have been plans to move Riddle to SmackDown since before WrestleMania 36, but those plans were put on hold coming out of the event. That event. Talk of finally pulling the trigger on Riddle call-up started back up several weeks ago. Riddle is scheduled to finish up his NXT run here soon. It remains to be seen if he will work his last NXT match during Wednesday's episode on the USA Network when he faces Timothy Thatcher in the cage fight, with WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle as special referee. The Riddle versus Thatcher feud was made after they dropped NXT tag titles to Imperium earlier this month. Following tensions between the two, they saw Thatcher walk out on Riddle during the match. Raw opens up from the USA Network with a video tribute for Memorial Day. Live from the tape, closed set Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Tom welcomes us to the show. He's chimed in by Samoa Joe and Byron Saxton. They go over tonight's lineup. We go right to the ring. Kevin Owens is out for another must-see edition of the KO Show. We see several NXT developmental talents in the audience. Tom says they have all been tested for COVID-19. Shotzi Blackheart, Jasmine Duke, and several others are in the crowd making noise. We see how there are plexiglass shields around ringside barrier, similar to what you would see around in a hockey ring. The barrier also looks to be taller than usual. Owens acknowledges the crowd members and says some of them are the future, especially the ones wearing t-shirts. He reveals he will face Angel Garza later on. Owens plugs tonight's triple threat between NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax and Natalya, with the winner facing Raw Women's Champion Asuka at Backlash. Owens brings out his guest next, and here comes Asuka. Asuka hits the ring, still chanting for Becky Lynch. Owens agrees that she does deserve it. He plugs her the mom t-shirt on WWE Shop. Owens shows us a replay of last week's championship celebration with Asuka and Kairi Sane, and how Jax interrupted but was quickly sent packing. We also see how Jax later attacked Sane backstage, and how Asuka later attacked Jax. Asuka speaks some, but the music interrupts. Out comes Flair. Flair enters the ring and tells Asuka that the red brand title should have been handed to her. Flair reminds Asuka what happens when they step in the ring. Flair says Asuka has never beaten her. She goes on, but the music interrupts, and out comes Natalya. Natalya tells Owens she's not here to cause trouble. She's here to formally apologize to Owens and his crew for the tantrum she threw last week. She's just been so frustrated as of late. Flair mocks her for sucking up to Owens and laughs at her, saying even this won't help her win the match tonight. Flair goes on until Jax interrupts and comes out to booze. Jax says, we all know she will be the next champion. She warns that Flair and Natalya better just get ready for what she will do to them later. Owens sees where this is going, and he exits the ring. Jax says, that's a good idea. Jax steps to Asuka and says she will bulldoze her at Backlash. Asuka ends up dropping Jax with a shot to the face. Flair and Natalya end up on the floor going at it. Asuka taunts Jax, who looks on from the floor. Asuka's music hits and stands tall while the others regroup. Kayla Braxton backstage with Apollo Crews. Crews is confident about winning the U.S. title tonight. Match is up next. We go to the ring for tonight's opening match as U.S. champion Andrade is out with Zelina Vega to mostly boos from the crowd of developmental talents. We go to commercial. Back for the ring, out comes Apollo Crews. Former introduction from Mike Rome. The bell rings and they go at it. Crews takes it to the corner to start. We see Angel Garza backstage watching the match. Crews beats Andrade down in the corner and as Vega yells from ringside. Crews with more offense and a big stalling suplex in the middle of the ring for a 1 count. Crowd gets rocked by a big back elbow and Andrade covers for a quick 2 count. Crews blocks a hammerlock DDT and backdrops Andrade. Crews presses Andrade high above his head and drops him, and he falls to the floor. Andrade checks on Vega as we go. Crews presses Andrade high above his head, but drops him when Vega gets on the apron, running her mouth. Andrade almost kicks Vega off, but he puts brakes on, which leads to Crews hitting an enziguri kick, which leads to Andrade causing Vega to fall to the floor. Andrade then checks on Vega as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Vega's getting checked on by officials at ringside. Andrade takes advantage and levels Crews. Andrade takes the title and yells about it being his. Referee counts while Crews is down at ringside. Andrade brings him back in the ring at an 8 count, but Crews kicks out at 2. Andrade grounds Crews by his arm out. Crews fights up and out, but Andrade grabs him. They tangle and Crews rocks him in the face. More back and forth. Crews nails the clothesline. Crews rams Andrade back in the turnbuckle. Crews keeps the show and nails the running splash in the corner. Crews runs into boots in the corner. Crews keeps the show and climbs up for a hurricanrana. Andrade counters up high and nails a huge double stomp for a 2 count right in front of Vega. Andrade motions around his waist for the title as we see Kayla interviewing Angel backstage. He explains how the match is like making love to a beautiful woman. Crews launches Andrade into the corner as Garza goes on with his explanation. Crews with another closed pin attempt. Andrade counters the power slam and sends Crews face first into the corner. Andrade with a running double knees for a 2 count. Andrade focuses on the injured knee, but Crews nails a big enziguri. Crews goes on and hits a standing moonsault and a standing shooting star press in the middle of the ring for the pin and the win to the title out of nowhere. Winner and new champion, Apollo Crews. After the match, Crews takes the title as his developmental talent, Ciramon. Vega is shocked at ringside. Crews clutches the title as we go to replays. Charlie interviews an emotional Crews in the ring. People told him he'd never make it, and he didn't give up. So here he is, 11 years later, with his first title in WWE. Crews goes on about never giving up and always believing in himself. And now he can stand here and tell the whole world that he is the new U.S. champion. Kimber comes backstage to Andrade, throwing a fit. Crews hits the turnbuckle to pose with the title as the music plays, as Andrade is destroying things in the back. Still to come second, a game of golf between the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. We see Seth Rollins backstage looking at Rey Mysterio mask. Back to commercial. Back for the break, Seth Rollins is in the back. Rollins said tonight is a night of celebration. He has a Rey Mysterio mask. He shows us what happened to Rey 2 weeks ago when he used the corner of the steel steps to hurt Rey. Rollins says he was in a dark place then. He goes on about Rey representing himself to be sacrificed that night and fulfilling his duty for the greater good. He can't imagine the pain Ray went through. Rollins goes on and says, if that was Ray's final act as a WWE superstar, then it allows us to move forward into the future. Austin Theory and Murphy appear with Rollins now. He introduces Theory as his newest disciple. He says Theory and Murphy understand what it's like to be underappreciated as they were thrown away by the WWE Universe like he was. Rollins says their ceilings are limitless under his guidance. Murphy talks about how he needed a mentor and a leader. He needed the Monday Night Messiah to lead him into the future. He thanks Rollins. Theory thought he came to Raw with the right people, but when he abandoned him, the Monday Night Messiah found him. He thanks Rollins. Rollins says they are welcome, but this is just the beginning of a great night because they will get to show Ray firsthand how he helped bring something good to Raw when they show Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black what happens when you get in their way. Charlie's backstage with Charlotte Flair. Flair brags about raising the bar for every other woman in WWE and says no one else compares. Asuka comes dancing in with her Raw Women's title belt. She taunts Flair and says red is not Flair's color. Asuka dances away and Flair isn't impressed. We go to the ring. Out comes the Iconics. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. Back commercial. Back with Ray. Iconics are in the ring with microphones. Peyton goes to apologize for last week first, but Kay interrupts and says she's sorry for slapping Royce after losing her cool. They've come so far together, and she doesn't want anything to get in the way of that. They go on about signing their contracts together and winning the title at WrestleMania together. They never had an opportunity to defend their titles and should still be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. They take shots at Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross before the music hits, and out come the champions with their titles, by the way. The reporter was wrong with that because they did have a rematch and lost. Billy said the Iconics have had their every chance in the world, but they blew it.
No.
I agree. Shut up. I don't need your 2 cents. This is my video. Respect my video. But Billy says the Iconics had every chance in the world, but they blew it. Cross goes to speak as they enter the ring. The Iconics interrupt her and tell her to stand there and be grateful. Cross fires back and goes on about taking the same steps to get to WWE. Cross goes on about sacrificing on her WWE journey as developmental talent cheer her on. Cross talks about friendship with Bliss. The Iconics suddenly attack and beat the champ down. They try to fight back, but Kay and Royce beat them down. They drop Cross with a double team as the moves continue. Kay and Royce bring the titles back in and raise them up while talking trash down at Bliss and Cross. Still to come, Drew McIntyre will be on the VIP lounge with the MVP backstage. Lana walks up and just stares him down while he types on his phone. Lana says they need to talk. MVP says no. We don't. He walks off as he goes back to commercial. Back with Ray. MVP is in the ring for another episode of the VIP Lounge. He brings out his guest and introduces him as the soon-to-be former WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. Drew comes out and destroys his head. Drew wants to know where Bobby Lashley is. MVP says Lashley won't be taking Drew out tonight or putting the submission on him. They're saving that for Backlash. MVP asks Drew to remember the last time he had him on the show. MVP recalls how he tried to be a friend to Drew, and Drew repaid him with a claymore. They go on until Lashley is introduced as his music hits. Drew suddenly drops MVP with a claymore, and Lashley approaches the ring. Lashley pulls MVP out to safety as Drew yells at him to enter the ring and fight. Drew begs Lashley to come in and fight. Lashley helps MVP up the ramp and back to the back as Drew raises the WWE title in the air as well as the music plays. Charlie's backstage with Natalya now. Natalya takes a phone call from Tyson Kidd. She steps to the side, but the camera films her call. She apologizes for what she did earlier and says she's just human. She has to go and wrap up the call with Kidd. She goes back to Caruso to finish the interview, and Caruso says they're out of time. Frustrated, Natalia just rolls her eyes. Next up, we got Kevin Owens versus Angel Garza. We go back to the ring for the next match. As Kevin Owens makes his way out, Angel Garza suddenly attacks from behind and takes out Owens' knee on the ramp. Owens goes down, and we go back to commercial. A development talents boo Garza. Back for the break, we see what just happened to Owens. Owens is in the ring now, barely able to stand, but yelling as the referee rings the bell. They go at it, and Garza takes the leg out again. Garza grounds Owens and works on the leg, while Zelina Vega looks on from ringside. Owens fights up and out, but Garza beats him in the corner and uses the middle rope on the leg. Owens fights back, but another shot to the knee brings him back down. Garza twists and puts a boot to the knee, keeping Owens grounded in the middle ring. Owens finally gets an opening with a big DDT. Owens more offense, dropping Garza twice while hobbling on one knee. Owens drop kicks Garza. Owens tries to go for another corner cannonball, but the leg gives him trouble. Garza takes advantage with a big super kick, but Owens kicks out too. Garza takes Owens up to the top, but Owens fights back with back elbows. Owens headbutts Garza to the mat. Owens climbs up for the senton and nails it. Owens with a big chop to the chest. Owens goes up for the pop-up power bomb, but his knee goes out. Garza takes advantage with a wing clipper for the pin and the win. After the match, Garza stands tall. As the music plays, we got a replay. Garza comes from behind, kicks Owens' knee out again as he tries to get back up to his feet. Garza and Vega head to the back as developmental talents continue to move. So to come, a game of golf between the tag teams. On the brand commercial. Back for the break, we get a video package on the recent happening between the Viking Raiders and the Raw Tag Team Champions Street Profits. Go to a wacky game of golf between the two teams. Putt-putt, what do you expect? They're playing with two regular guys. Part of it's on the golf course. The course owner ends up kicking them out. Now they're at a miniature golf course with the two players from earlier. Ivar finally wins it for the Vikings. Montez Ford reveals that the Vikings have a much higher score, and the Vikings start to celebrate. But that's not how you win in golf. Ford announces that the Profits have won the anything you can do, we can do better challenge 2-1. An alligator appears on the course, and Ivar wants to go after it, but everyone holds him back, and so they can get to Raw, supposedly. Lana approaches MVP and Bobby Lashley backstage. She gives MVP some ice, and he asks her if it's a joke, like everything else is to her, including her husband's career. MVP excuses them because they need to do now is send a message right back to Drew McIntyre. MVP and Lashley walk off. Lana screams out in frustration, throwing another fit. Seth Rollins backstage with Austin Theory and Murphy. Holding Rey Mysterio's match back commercial. Austin and Murphy versus Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo. They start things off with Carrillo and beats him in the corner. Murphy with a quick tag as he stomps away on Carrillo in the corner. Theory with a quick tag, but Carrillo blocks the double suplex. Carrillo sends Murphy to the floor, and then back drops Theory onto him. Black tags in and goes to dive onto both opponents, but they retreat, and he puts on the brakes. Taking a seat in the middle ring, Carrillo comes back in and flies out, taking them both on the floor for a pop. Black unloads on Theory now as Rollins watches. Carrillo tags in for a double team from the top. Theory turns it around on Carrillo, hitting a belly back suplex out of the corner for a 2 count. Murphy comes in and unloads with kicks at Carrillo. Carrillo counters and drops Murphy. Carrillo and Murphy both call for tags as the developmental talents rally. Black and Theory tag in at the same time. Black unloads. Murphy comes back, but Black unloads with kicks. Black keeps a choke and nails a big kick to Theory's face. Black shows off and hits a moonsault to Murphy, then sends him out of the ring. Theory rolls Black for a close 2 count. Black and Theory go at it now. Black drops Theory for a 2 count. Rollins looks concerned at ringside now. Carrillo tags in and goes up top. Black goes to the opposite corner, but Murphy knocks him off. Carrillo knocks Murphy off the apron to the floor. Carrillo turns around to the ATL from Theory for the pin and the win. After the match, Rollins comes in the ring to raise the arms of the winners. They go to the floor and launch Black into the timekeeper's area. Rollins orders them to toss Carrillo to the floor because he needs to learn. They send him out, hold his face next to the corner of the steel steps. Black comes in the ring with a steel chair, but Rollins warns him to back off or Carrillo loses an eye. Rollins knows they want to fight for Ray, but Ray will sacrifice for the greater good if they stay in Rollins' way. What Ray will sacrifice for will be in vain. Rollins talks about Black. Talks Black into throwing the chair out of the ring. Rollins warns Black and Carrillo that he will sacrifice them the way he did Ray if they keep pushing him. Rollins, in theory, and Murphy hits to the back as Black checks on Carrillo. Rollins stares at Murphy's mask on the way out. We see Edge backstage, back commercial. Back for the break, Hall of Famer Edge is backstage. Edge addresses Randy Orton and mentions watching himself on The Undertaker's Last Ride series. While still retired, talking about when it's time to hang up the boots. Edge tells Taker he gets it now. Edge says if Orton wants to doubt his wrestling ability, he went toe-to-toe with greats like Taker, Shawn Michaels, Christian, Rey Mysterio, Davey Boy Smith, William Regal, and the list goes on. Edge brought guys to his level and taught them how to get to the next level. He goes on about his career and his abilities. Edge doesn't know if he can do any of those things anymore, but at Backlash, he's going to dig to the very depths of his soul to try because that's all a man can do. The announcers hype Edge versus Orton at Backlash. Number 1 contenders triple threat match. Nia Jax versus Natalya versus Charlotte Flair. Back to the ring. Out comes Raw Women's Champion Asuka to join the announcers at ringside. The winners of the next triple threat will get to challenge Asuka at Backlash. Back to commercial. Viking Raiders and Raw Tag Team Champions Street Profits are backstage. They set up a game of bowling next. Raiders walk off as MVP and Bobby Lashley walk up. MVP has words with the Profits, and this leads to MVP challenging them to a tag team match for later. We'll go back to the ring, and Asuka is on commentary as NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair makes her way to the ring. Natalya was out next, followed by Nia Jax. The bell rings, and Flair drops Natalya first to start the match. Jax takes Flair to the corner, and they tangle. Natalya gets dropped again. Jax slams Flair, and then slams Natalya on the top of her in the middle of the ring. Flair comes back to send Jax to the floor. Flair takes control of Natalya in the ring. The chain holds and lock up again. Flair takes Natalya down, but she slides out and shows Flair up. They go at it again. Flair ends up on the outside. Jax levels Flair on the floor and starts taking the announcers table apart. Natalya tries to baseball side Jax, but Jax rocks her into the apron. She pulls Natalya to the floor, but turns around to Flair, jabbing the announce table top into her. Flair and Jax trouble for the table hood. Jax gets the upper hand. Jax and Flair meet on the apron now, unloaded with strikes. Flair with big shots on the apron. Jax catches the boot, goes for a Samoan drop on the apron, but Natalya cuts her off. Trying to take her leg out, Flair and Natalya come up for a double power bomb, putting Jax through the announce table from the apron. Asuka's shot. Back to commercial. We go to commercial. Back for the break, Natalya goes at it with Jax. Jax tries to fight out of an arm bar and does. Jax powers up and nails a sit-down power bomb, but Flair runs into a break to break up the pin attempt. Flair covers Natalya for a 2 count. Flair tosses Natalya to the floor. Flair goes back to work on Jax while she's down. Flair goes up top and hits a moonsault on Jax for another close 2 count. Flair with more shots to the leg. Natalya comes off the top with a crossbody on Flair for a pin attempt for her. Jax gets up and levels Natalya. Then Flair. Jax is angry. She works on both opponents in the corner at the same time. Jax tries to lift them both at the same time, but can't. Natalya goes down and rolls to the floor. Flair sidesteps Jax and rocks her in the corner. Flair with a big knee drop to the knee of Jax. Flair presses Jax into the figure 8, but Natalya breaks it up. Natalya with a sharpshooter's Flair in the middle of the ring. Jax ends up making the save. More back and forth. Flair sends Natalya back to the floor. Flair keeps Natalya from entering as she goes up. Flair climbs up, but Jax beats on her from behind. Jax climbs for a superplex, but Natalya comes over and brings them both to the mat. Jack kicks out of 2. Natalya crawls over to Flair, but she also kicks out. More back and forth between the three as Flair applies the figure 4 on Natalya again. Jack breaks it up with a leg drop. Jack turns on and hits the Samoan drop on Natalya for the pin and wins to earn the title shot. After the match, Jack stands tall as the music plays. We got a replay. Asuka raises her title at ringside as Jack stares her down. Carter catches up with Drew McIntyre backstage. Drew says he was on his way out of the building. He didn't plan to Claymore MVP earlier, but MVP asked for it. Kayla asked Drew if he knew about tonight's tag team match with MVP and Lashley versus the Street Profits. Drew suddenly forgets something in the locker room and says he probably won't find it until the tag match is over. Back to commercial. Back for the break, we see how Rob Gronkowski won the 24/7 title at WrestleMania 36. We see a Twitter video of R-Truth posted earlier today when he issued a warning to Gronk and any football player he has to go through to get the title back. We see a video response from Gronk who says his years of football and growing up with 4 brothers made him ready for any fight. Gronk says he will see truth coming because he has eyes in the back of his head. Street Profits have accepted the challenge from MVP and Bobby Lashley according to Hall. Kayla catches up with MVP backstage and asks him why he would want to be in this match after taking the Claymore earlier. That's why, he says. He goes back to talking strategy with Lashley. So to come to the Nature Boys here, back to commercial. Back to the break, Tom leads us to a pre-recorded video of Hall of Famer Ric Flair. Flair says he's had more great matches than anyone, and WWE reached out to him for his thoughts on Edge versus Randy Orton at Backlash. Flair says since he hung up his boots and stopped riding in limousines and jets, Orton is the greatest wrestler to do it. Tom leads us to a preview for The Last Ride on the WWE Network, taking a look at the rivalry between The Undertaker and Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. Liv Morgan backstage with a pre-recorded promo. She says what might surprise about her is her biggest stumbling block has always been her own self-worth. She can't remember a time growing up where she felt good enough, but she does remember being 6-year-old and wondering what life had in store for her because for a while she felt like she was just floating around and didn't know if she would hit the sun or crash and burn to the ground. She finally found what she was missing when she found WWE and got her first piece of wrestling gear with her name on it. She might not know all the answers because life keeps changing the questions, but she does know she's alive and she will fulfill who she's always been destined to be, and she's living her best life. Byron believes these are the beginnings of what will be Liv's Hall of Fame career. Street Profits versus MVP and Bobby Lashley. We go back to the ring for tonight's non-title main event, and out first comes Raw Tag Team Champions Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. We see pre-recorded promo from earlier where they say that they're not all jokes, and MVP and Bobby Lashley we'll see when they come for the smoke tonight. They raise their titles in the ring as the developmental talents cheer them on. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Byron confirms Seth Rollins versus Aleister Black for next week. Also next week will be a retirement ceremony for Rey Mysterio. We go back to the ring, and Lashley is out with MVP. MVP and Ford go out and start the match. And Lashley comes in and unloads in the corner. Lashley drops Ford on his face with a flatliner for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Dawkins assists Ford and turns around. MVP provides an assist from the floor. Allowing Lashley to club Ford on the floor. Lashley scoots forward and launches him into the ring post. Ford goes down hard on the floor. Lashley plays to the crowd of developmental talents, and we go back to commercial. Back to the break. MVP works on Ford in the corner. Lashley tags in for a double team and takes over. Lashley continues to dominate Ford for another 2 count in the middle of the ring. Lashley sends Ford back out to the floor. MVP tags in and goes straight to the floor as the referee counts. MVP whips forward into the steel ring steps. MVP brings forward back in for a 2 count. Another quick finish attempt. MVP shows frustration now. MVP grounds forward with a submission, taunting him while he's down. The crowd of developmental talents try to rally for forward. Forward fights to his feet and breaks the hold, but MVP hits him in the face. MVP whips forward into the corner and he hits the top turnbuckle. MVP charges with a big butt forward moves and MVP gets hung up. Forward levels MVP with a big right hand. Dawkins gets beat, the hot tag, and unloads on MVP with a clothesline. And a big flying elbow. Dawkins drops MVP with a single leg takedown. Dawkins with a spinning splash in the corner and a face buster for a pop from the crowd. Dawkins knocks Lashley off the apron. Forward capitalizes and sends Lashley into the barrier. Dawkins with a cash out on MVP as Forward follows up with a huge flying splash from the top. Forward covers MVP, but Lashley runs in and breaks the pin. And then applies the pole Nelson on Forward in the middle of the ring. Lashley manhandles Forward some, and the referee calls the match as Lashley won't listen to his instruction. Winner by DQ, Street Profits. After the bell, music immediately hits. Out comes Drew McIntyre. Drew hits the ring as Lashley tells him to bring it. Drew with a Glasgow kiss headbutt. They brawl and then tumble to the floor. Lashley beats Drew against the barrier. Drew fights back and brings it back into the ring. Drew mounts Lashley with big strikes. Referee calls for help to come break things up. He instructs some of the male developmental talents to come from the crowd into the ring. They hit the ring, coming back from the back and what have you. Through their entranceway, they hit the ring and Drew drops them with headbutts and strikes. Lashley takes advantage and drops Drew with a big spear. Referee calls for more trainees to come to the ring to break things up. Drew and Lashley are separated, but they fight back and take the trainees out. More trainees hit the ring, and finally they have Lashley and Drew kept apart in opposite corners. Raw goes off there with Lashley and McIntyre yelling at each other from opposite corners. That concludes my results for this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on the video. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.